Hello, people of the internet. This is Kaiju Noir,
And this is Pete.
and this is our review for The Purge, the second movie that we saw tonight, and apparently the one that everyone in the theater went to see.
Everyone, that theater was packed. That
Yeah.
room, and it was a pretty small theater, but it was pretty decently sized, and we were lucky to get two seats that were at least together.
Yeah, I haven't seen a movie that packed since like Iron Man 3.
Yeah, which it hasn't been that long, but I mean, for a scary movie, it's kind of surprising to see.
Although when it comes to midnight premieres, the movies that tend to get the most audiences are superhero films and horror flicks.
Now, I just have to say, going into this movie, when I saw a trailer for this movie, I was hyped.
Really?
I kind of liked the premise of it.
Yeah.
It sounded to be a little different than your typical horror movie. But we'll get into that.
Right. For those of you who don't know, The Purge is a movie where it is the year 2022, and crime has gotten to an all-time low, to like 1% of what it is now. The reason why is because once a year from, I think, 6 or 7 o'clock at night to 7 in the morning, people
We have the Hunger Games!
the people apparently are allowed to do whatever they want, whether it is to rob, to kill, or destroy, in order to purge their hostile intentions and feelings so that they may be able to live happy, normal lives for the rest of the year.
Right, basically the whole point of The Purge is to get out all that evil out of you so that you don't commit crimes while there's peace.
And apparently the majority of the crimes committed are against homeless people, murdering them, dismembering them, and whatnot. And so we have this nice upper-class suburban household where the father is sort of a business salesman. He sells high-tech security for people who want to hide in their homes during the purge.
For the Purge.
So, during this night, the son of this family decides to help out this one homeless man by letting him into the house before the gates shut, which attracts the attention of the people who are these crazy psychopathic people wearing creepy anonymous type masks, who are out to get to come to their house. So now the family has to defend themselves against these crazy marauders.
Right, it comes down to the point where do you choose your family or do you choose the man you just saved? You know, you have to choose something there.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on your choice, it's, defend yourself.
Right. Like, how far are you willing, at what point is killing acceptable, not acceptable? When is it acceptable, in general, I mean?
Right, in this case, it's like, really taking into account, your humanity. What do you value in life? Is all human life equal, or is something really inferior in that sense? Because that's part of what the big purge is. The purge. They find that homeless people are inferior, that they need to die. They are scum. They are rats, and for that very reason, they need to die. And in this situation, the father has to decide whether
what is best for his family.
Exactly.
Now, you've already talked about what you thought about the movie going in. When I saw the trailer, I was intrigued, but then after a quick second, I thought to myself, this is the stupidest premise for a movie I've ever seen. I mean, seriously, having one day where people are allowed to do whatever they want, that can never work in real life. You mean to tell me that nobody commits crime for 364 days? Are you kidding me? I mean, even if, for people who can perform all the debauchery they want, I doubt that they're ever going to stop after that supposed purge.
I do have to agree with you on that. Just the idea of itself, did catch my attention. I didn't look or think about it too much after I saw the trailer, like you did, but thinking of it like that absolutely, how does just one day of, maniacal, just doing whatever the heck you want, keep you sane.
Right. I mean, you're either a psychopathic killer or you're not. I mean, unless you're killing in self-defense or certain situations where that sort of thing happens, the majority of sane people do not kill in general or commit crime. I mean, do you see me performing all that kind of stuff? No! I don't need the Purge to do whatever I want, and neither does the majority of America.
I definitely agree with you on that one, or we'd be in lots of trouble.
So now, as for the actual story, like getting past the ridiculous premise, what do you thought of the movie itself and the story played out and the characters and whatnot?
If I could say anything, I just felt a little creeped out, a little disturbed by just how it was. It's just creepy more than anything. It wasn't really scary. The atmosphere was creepy. If you you think of putting yourself in their shoes, and it's like, oh, yeah, that is kind of creepy. You got scary looking people, with evil faces, evil masks looking outside, trying to get into your house. But other than that, it really is just creepy.
It was very hard for me to take in that supposedly creepy atmosphere because the camera work was really cheap, in my opinion. I mean, the camera was constantly wiggling about and constantly shaking, and the lights were flickering on and off, almost as if it was trying to give me an epileptic seizure. And I'm not even epileptic.
Well, I do have to agree with you on that. I felt like the camera had this weird fuzz on it. Not only that, but near half of the movie, the lights go out. So you get people with flashlights, flashing back and forth. Woo! Are you there? Are you there? So that got kind of old and tired and annoying.
And when it came to the villains, I don't know. I thought they were kind of very generic, crazy people. I mean, these could take those masks off and replace them with clown masks, and they could easily be henchmen for the Joker.
It seems like they had little to no motivation other than the Purge. Just killing people to kill people. I think with the Purge, the reason for the Purge is for you to get back at someone, not just to kill senselessly, but that's what these people do. They just kill senselessly, and I don't know. They had no real motivation to come and kill the. And because in reality, how many homeless people do you think there really are? Well, actually,
depends on where you go in town.
That's true. I don't know. I just think it's kind of silly that they focus on one homeless man. Even then, just focusing on the homeless man is kind of stupid too.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird how the homeless man, he ends up disappearing through half of the film.
Yeah, I mean, he's big. He's bleeding, so I'm sure he's making sounds or leaving a trail.
And speaking of disappearing, a lot of the core cast includes a father, a mother, a son, and a teenage daughter. I can't honestly tell you what their names are. I just did not care about any one of them.
I was just about to ask you that. It's like, do you even care what their names are?
I did not. I did not care. These characters are stupid. They're incompetent. The girl is like that stereotypical girl where she's like, oh my god, everything's such a drag. My life is so miserable. And this is before she experienced this traumatizing event.
Everything's such a drag, and I'm so mature. Guys, I'm so super mature right now.
And she has this subplot with her boyfriend, which goes absolutely nowhere. I mean, it does lead to somewhere, but it's completely dropped by the time the film gets to by the middle of the film. So it was kind of pointless with her boyfriend.
It was beyond pointless. His motivation or his actions were just beyond stupid.
And then you have the son, who probably has the girliest, longest hair I've ever seen. I mean, in high school, you had your hair to a rather long. You had your hair rather long. This little kid, I bet you this kid gets picked on in school because of his hair.
I can definitely imagine that.
Then you have the mother, who she's okay for the most part, although she can't seem to hold a gun. Well, in fact, almost nobody in this movie can hold a gun. They can shoot. And whenever they can shoot, they immediately drop the gun afterwards.
Do you think for something like the Purge that people will take, some kind of combat training to at least prepare your family?
Exactly.
I mean, heaven's sake, it's the Purge. There's people that are gonna try to kill you. It doesn't matter whether you're a target or not. You want to defend your family.
This father should have taken his whole family to like the mountains or the hills, and get like some sort of official gun license and teach their kids how to use a gun, but in a very safe and open environment.
Not just that, he's rich. He could leave the country. It's from what I know, it's in the United States. It's
Yes.
not the whole world. He could leave the States for a day.
Or like, hey, take a vacation to Cancun or something.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if it's for a day, it's not worldwide. It's in the United States. Go out. Again, they don't really give much to the political stance on this whole thing, other than the government doesn't care what you do on that one night.
Apparently, there's these new founding fathers that apparently set up this whole Purge day.
Do you learn anything about them?
No.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, who cares?
Another thing we could have done was just build, an underground bunker or something.
That's what I like, a freaking safe, like a metal safe that's people can't get into.
As opposed to just putting steel walls in front of the door and the garage door and the windows. No, I don't think even the windows were protected.
I don't think so either. But even then, like you said, they can build an underground bunker. They can build a tunnel that goes deeper, and I don't know. It's you just would think, with you being a rich person, with making good money, they have a huge house.
Yeah.
That you would protect yourself just a tad bit more.
That's funny. The father, he sells this sort of homeland security. It's like super high tech homeland security.
High tech.
And he said, and then at the movie, he's like, "Oh well, this homeland security, it wasn't designed to protect us against." It wasn't designed to protect us that well.
It's more of a deterrent, so that people think they can't get in. But if they really want to, and if they put the effort, they can.
Yeah, that's stupid. You mean to tell me that this guy is selling inadequate security?
I wonder how many people actually died that day during the Purge. They said at the end of the credits, they did say it's the best Purge ever made, ever of the years.
Yeah. We haven't actually talked about the dad himself. He's probably the most competent character of the film. Although the fact that you're willing to put your entire family in danger by having security that's not really that secure, you're an idiot.
Yeah, you're somewhat of an idiot. But
I mean, you and I just named like a couple ideas that can better help the family, as opposed to what he did.
And they have the money. I mean, you could make the argument like, they've never been targeted before. This whole person was unexpected. But, I mean, from the very beginning, there's some shady people in the very beginning that gives you some indication that something's not right.
Although I do have to say that this movie does a lot of foreshadowing at the beginning of the movie. A whole lot of exposition is dumped. A whole lot of plot elements show up to say, hey, see this thing? It's going to come in handy. And that got annoying because once you see these characters or these certain items, you know that they're going to show up later in the film.
Absolutely. And like you said, I don't like how people just disappear. They disappear. People are calling for your name, and you're not responding. Your own mother, your own father, they're sick and worried for you, and you're not replying. I mean, all it takes is for you to surprise them, and bam, you just got shot in the gut.
This happened. This was especially prevalent with the two kids. Yeah, they just run off for no reason into the dark, away from their parents, and then they show up out of nowhere.
Son? After an hour, he just pops out of a freaking corner.
Yeah. Like, where were you the entire time? These people, this family does not know how to stick together. The number one rule of horror films, never split up.
Well, not just that. The number one rule of an emergency situation, whether it be this Purge or an emergency, natural disaster, is to stick together.
And they never do.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous in that sense.
Mm-hmm. I mean, really, you would let your daughter go to her room when you know that there's killings going on?
Oh yeah, the fact that go to your room. Just hang out in your room. Let's not go to a safe zone in the house just to be extra safe. No, just go to your room.
Let's just hang out in the Let's just hang out in the computer room where we can watch people getting killed outside.
Let's give our kids access to the passwords so they can open the doors.
Yes.
Although I don't know if that would have made a difference, but still, god damn, these parents are stupid.
Everything about this movie is stupid.
I have to agree.
The one thing I did like were the scenes where the dad was defending himself from these crazy people who wanted to kill them. Although what really ruined it was the CG blood.
Oh yeah, I remember you commented on that.
I hate CG blood. I think, it never works unless it's like an animated film or whatnot.
Was it even needed?
Right. I mean, not all of the kills use CG blood. So I think it was the ones where the characters were killed and they were up close to the camera. That's when they used CG blood. It really,
But
you just can't. You just couldn't spend the extra time to make practical blood.
And you have a great chance to make some great effects, especially where some characters get shot. You have a great chance to make something grotesque, something disgusting.
Well, I think this movie was made on the cheap, considering that they never got the proper equipment to hold their camera right.
I guess you could say that.
So really, you would want, rather than spending the money on decent cinematography, instead spend it on really fake looking blood.
Yeah, it was something else. Now, one question I really want to ask you is, what did you think about the quote unquote main villain? Not the guys with the masks, but the leader of the group.
He felt like a second-rate Batman villain.
Yes, thank you. Like all I could imagine was like a second-rate Joker, like so hard, like trying to imitate something like around those lines. He had the long back slick hair, that smile,
that like the way he tilts his head.
Exactly.
And he's like, you now know that we don't want to kill our own kind. Just give us the homeless man, and we'll put a smile on his face.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking about the whole time. I'm like, really? God. And then there was those twists at the very end, which weren't very really good twists.
Like I said, that twist is hinted at the very beginning, and it's very predictable. Although there was one scene at the very end that I really did enjoy.
That was funny, and I'm not gonna say what it was because a lot of people don't see that.
No. They should not see this movie.
You're gonna get a point there.
I'm just gonna say one character. I'm very sorry. I try my best not to cuss in these movies, these reviews, but there's this irritating. I'm not even gonna say it. This woman gets her. This awful woman gets her comeuppance. In the most awesome manner.
She just gets a butt of a rifle shoved in her face. Which is, by God, she needed to shut up. I hated that lady. And, God, there's just so many wrong things with this movie. Like, we could go on, but... And I'm sure everyone's going to say, the same things. There's just so many things that just don't work in this movie.
Yeah, and, back in middle school... in my history class, we were learning about the Bill of Rights, and we watched an old VHS movie, like some sort of like TV quality movie, where it presents you a possible future where what were to happen if the president were to suddenly get rid of the Bill of Rights and everything's all horrible and sad and depressing. This movie felt like that little mini documentary-ish movie where it's like, this is what happens when people are allowed to kill. And the whole message is, oh my God, killing is wrong.
You don't say!
No bleep, Sherlock.
Oh my God. Yeah, throughout the whole movie, this is just really the last thing I really want to tack on. They emphasize how important the Purge is, how good it is for society, how much it helps them, how it cleanses people, how good it just is.
And then at the very end of the movie, it starts giving you that message of killing people is wrong. Look at us, we're just animals.
God, that's yeah. Just no. That's all I really want to say about this movie.
Final thoughts, 1 out of 5.
Well, 1 out of 5. Don't really go watch. I mean, again, personally, I was kind of excited to go see it. I liked, the whole idea of, the whole, not the whole Purge thing, but, the premise of it initially.
Mm-hmm.
And the more, your idea, you expanded on it and actually watching the movie, don't watch it. It's not worth your money. It's not worth your wasted time of watching it. It's just not worth your time.
That felt really good, letting all our anger out.
Feels good event. I think this is the worst movie of 2013 yet that I've seen so far.
Yeah.
And again,
Let's see.
you saw
What did I saw?
After Earth.
Oh no, After Earth is a walk in the park compared to this.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I think by far theatrically, this is one of the worst movies I've seen so far in 2013.
Let's see. Yeah, definitely for 2013. As for movies that I've reviewed in general, I'm still gonna have to say Paranormal Activity 4 is the worst movie I've seen in theaters, or the worst movie I've reviewed.
In recent time. Oh yeah.
I've reviewed in general.
I actually never saw Paranormal Activity 4. I don't plan to. I know it's gonna be bad. Actually, this is like going off on a tangent now.
I'm ready to rip Paranormal Activity 5, or new one in October.
Are you gonna go? Are we gonna watch it?
Yeah, we're trying to. Yeah, I mean that's. I really want this year. I really want to see as many movies as I can to provide more content to you, the audience, as well as to improve my skills on how to approach movies of all kinds of genres.
So in that sense, I'm guessing we'll be back next week for another movie.
Yep. This time, This Is the End and Man of Steel.
The double feature.
The long-awaited reboot to the Superman franchise, and hopefully a proper debut of a lead-in to a Justice League movie. Sorry, Green Lantern.
We'll see what comes out of this.
So until next time, everybody, take care.
See you guys next time.